To Lignano Sabbiadoro, just 3 championship titles to be decided. The 94 kilos coming right up here with David Morgan and myself, David Goldstrom, and a field of 9, including the defending champion, Simon Coletskey, who in his time has won no less than 4 European titles. Well, the 94 kilo competition, 207 pounds, 14 3/4 stone, and there you can see the 9 contenders. A chance now to meet them individually. So, representing Lithuania, Donatas Anuškevičius, and weighed in at 92.66 kilos. He was 6th in Europe a couple of years ago. Muhammad Sozaev of Russia, 2nd in the World Championships in Doha 3 years ago. Now this is the defending champion, Simon Coletskey, representing Poland, 26 years of age, and has posted an entry total of 400, which is the biggest of the field. Representing Bulgaria, Nikolai Kolev, the Bulgarians yet to really make their mark at these championships. Alibey Samadov for Azerbaijan, at 93 kilos, 90 at the heavy end of the weight class, and 3rd in the European Championships last year behind Coletskey, Yevgeny Bratan of Moldavia. Next man is Edgar Gavorian of Armenia, and has pushed up his total by 18 kilos from the World Championships. And Hakan Yilmaz of Turkey, former European champion in this weight category back in 2005. And completing the lineup, the 2nd of the Russians, Andrei Damanov, 2nd in the European Championships, the silver medalist 2 seasons ago when we were in Władysławowo in Poland. So those are the 9 contenders, and here's a man who's already made a mark, and this is Konstantin Piliev of the Ukraine, who lifted earlier today in the B group, and this was the best of his snatch attempts, 170 kilos, and that along with a clean and jerk of 212 later puts him on 382, and if 1 or 2 are a little over-ambitious, then it's entirely possible that he might creep quite close to the medals, possibly individually in a clean and jerk. Now, here are the past winners of this championship. Oliver Caruso, back in 1998, 10 years. It was a great championships for Germany, 4 gold medals, and here in 2008, we've seen indications of a revival in the German team.
Ladies and gentlemen, signore e signori, pani e panowie, it's time to start competition.
So just about to get underway here in this 94 kilo competition, and looks as if it's going to be Alibey Samadov on 160 kilos to begin the competition. So just to reiterate, Konstantin Piliev from the B group, who you just saw a few moments ago, he at the moment is the leader in the clubhouse, so to speak. And he might, you never know, David, he might regret being in the B group, because obviously he can't react. He didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, that's right. He clean and jerked 112, didn't he? Then jumped to 116. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the medalists on the clean and jerk do, because if he needed 113, obviously, if you're not in the A group, you don't know that. So you're just taking what you think you might need if you're lifting in the B.
Yeah, I actually watched that competition this morning. I saw him try that 3rd clean and jerk attempt at 216. He was mighty close to getting it. And if he got the 216, then he definitely was in with a shout. But we've seen here that there's a lot of pressure and a lot of tension, and you know, as you get into these heavy weight categories, okay, it doesn't apparently look very good when you get a lot of failures, but it's just an indication of, you know, we saw the world and the Olympic champion going out in the 77 kilo class, and that's, you know, that in itself tells its own story. So Lithuania Now there are the opening weights you can see down there on that list, and 170s, and of course that would indicate that Piliev's 170 that he finished on won't be good enough for a medal, but it just depends on how it unfolds. So Anush Gevichis for Lithuania, 27 years of age, and this is right on the same mark that he finished on in the World Championships in Chiang Mai, when he totaled 365 but only got 50% of his lifts in. And Nuskevicius with not an auspicious start there. 3 reds.
Well, I think that underlines what you were saying, though. Although there's a few people down at 170, doesn't mean they're going to get it or indeed go any further.
Yeah, because he's got to come out and do that again. Then maybe he takes 168. He might not get much further than 170. So Hakan Yilmaz for Turkey. Well, when he's good, David, he can be very good indeed. But again, he's a very low percentage lifter. Traditionally, he just doesn't get that many in.
There's also, as with all the Turks, down on his totals.
"15 seconds.
It stays in that position a long time. Yeah, this is the thing, they're starting on weights that should be really, really easy, and they're missing them.
Well, this man was a world silver medalist back in 2003 in Vancouver on the eve of the Athens Olympic Games, and he was snatching 180, clean and jerking 220 for a total of 400. And that was one of those rare occasions when he actually put in 6 out of 6. Well, we know he can't do that. So Samadov now for Azerbaijan. .165, second attempt. Now remember, the first lift was good, 160, so this is a 5 kilo increase.
No, too short.
So here's one man who looks as if he's going to fall to Piliev in terms of ranking at this stage.
I think from the spectators' viewpoint as well, it would be much better if Piliev was in there, because it's nice to see him fighting it out with the others.
But of course, it all is determined by the entry total that's posted, and if it isn't, you know, within the top 8 or 9 or 10, then that's the reason why he's not in this particular group. I mean, it has been known, David, for coaches to make a point of putting their lifters in the B group, in the sense that it takes a bit of pressure off. They can live with a little bit more freedom. But as you say, it actually takes them out of the fight, the direct contact. And it's also, I mean, it also affects the men who are in the A group.
That's not looking good at all.
Aniškevičius for Lithuania. 2 failures at 165, so he's going to be, well, the sensible thing is he's got to come out and take that again.
Well, it just looks too heavy. He's not getting enough height on the bar, nowhere near.
I should actually also mention that Mikolai Batotsky of Belarus also achieved 170 in the B group, but he weighed in at 93.96, and Konstantin Piliev at 93.88, which is why we showed Piliev, because he's the guy who's leading at this moment. So Yilmaz, second attempt at 165.
Really doesn't look good. Just looks heavy. They just, the Turks just look weak. I mean, that's 15 kilos below his personal best. and it's nowhere near.
Well, it's also the weight that he ended on in Chiang Mai. So you would expect, you know, coming in the Olympic cycle, 6 months on from Thailand, you'd expect him to be able to do better than that. But, you know, we've now got 2 men within the space of the opening 6 minutes of the competition who are in jeopardy and potentially not going to get a total. So Samadov out. Now he has got the 160, but he didn't get the 165. And this is where he's, I mean, he did actually the 165. The last time I tracked him getting this sort of weight was in the Olympics in Athens. Well, there are plenty of men and plenty of talent. Coletskey to come in, Demonov, Yevgeny Bratin of Moldavia. Now, Bratin was the European bronze medalist last season and might be on for some more medals this time around. Anushka Vicious for Lithuania. Well, time is not the issue, but technique most certainly is.
Well, this is his last chance to stay in the competition. 2 pretty bad failures, actually. So can he pull it out from somewhere?
No. And he didn't total in the World Championships of 2005. He didn't total in the World Championships of 2006. And he's failed to total in the European Championships of 2008. And that really is a very disappointing start. Particularly, I mean, he has done that weight. And now, following rapidly in his footsteps, Hakan Yilmaz of Turkey facing exactly the same situation. As you saw there, even if he does this, he will only be in 4th place.
Not today.
Well, last night it was Tanazar, the Olympic champion, who failed 3 snatches in attempting to win the European 77 kilo championship. That didn't happen. And the only championship won by any Turkish lifter here, Nurjan Taylan, in the opening women's 48 kilo examination. Muhammad Sozayev for Russia. Once again, David Riggett, the boss, in the coach's corner. Sozayev, one of 2 Russians in the lineup, 4th in the World Championships a couple of years ago. And this man's made 175, 176, 177. And the bar is at 170 at the moment. This will put him into the lead. By virtue of lighter body weight, stays on the platform, feet in line. And Konstantin Piliev drops down into 2nd place. And Mikhail Patosky of Belarus into 3rd. So Yevgeny Bratin waiting in the wings. Looks like it's going to be the Armenian Edgar Gavorian to open up also on 170. And less than 30 seconds for him to get on stage. This man who was just in the top 20 at the World Championships, and he's got coming down to 15 seconds. Might have appreciated just a little bit more time. 10 seconds now as he locks on.
little bit rushed, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just didn't have that extra 5 to 10 seconds to settle. Again, coaches have got to be very alert to this. This is, you know, it's pretty tight field here again. You know, the spread's only 20 kilos. With these men at this weight category, you know, 20 kilos is not that much.
Simon Coletskey warming out there, 160. Pretty comfortable.
Yeah. Well, do you know what keeps coming back all the time when I see him on? Is the, you know, the Olympic Games in Sydney, wasn't it? You know, when it seemed to us that against Kakashvilis, the gold medal was at his mercy. And I still have never understood quite what happened and why he didn't come out and why he didn't go for it. You know, because remember, he finished his effort. He'd used, you know, he made 4 out of 5 lifts. He still had a lift to go.
Well, Kakas really played a good game, didn't he? Good tactical game. He wasn't going to come out again. He was injured. He wasn't actually coming out for any more.
I know, but
he kept pushing it up.
Yeah. But it's always sort of nagged me that there were, I don't know, it just didn't seem right somehow. I mean, how many chances do you get to be in that situation to win an Olympic gold medal? You know, it may never happen. It probably won't happen for him. It might, but it's long odds, really. So, Gavorian of Armenia. Second attempt, same weight. And I have to say, David, he hasn't given himself any more time. It's exactly the same. If anything, it's a second or two less.
But it's a better lift. That's more like it. So, just 4 seconds to spare.
I suppose if you're the coach and you know that's the way he lifts, it's all right, but otherwise it's sort of palpitation time. So, Gavorian, by virtue of his lighter body weight, 90.84, David, didn't really emphasize how light he is in this class. So Piliev, the man who lifted in the B group, now into the bronze medals position. And it looks as if that 170 is going to be surpassed by a fair few, but still gives himself an overall chance.
Looks like Jack D, doesn't he, the comedian?
Well, Jack D's not listening yet. Well,
oh dear.
I'm not sure I agree with you, actually.
It's not as funny.
No.
Yeah.
You just think it's sort of same sort of poker face. So still to start, Russia's Andrei Demonov, Nikolai Kolev of Bulgaria, and Coletskey, of course.
A lot of failures, isn't there? A lot of people,
well, that's
sort of trying to lift a lot more than they're capable of.
Once again, thanks to those of you who've taken time to send us a little email into question@weightlifting.de. Brendan Flanagan, David was responding to yesterday what we got your email back again, and you asked us to say hello to the Holy Cross School in Strabane and tell them that weightlifting, particularly for the young women there, that's a sport they should think of taking up. And I'm glad you noticed that my colleague here still owes me €5.
So, Bratin.
171. Second time of asking. but it would put him into the lead. I did 175 in the World Championships last year, but then had 3 goes at the clean and jerk at 210 and failed all of them. Ten seconds.
It's a better attempt.
Yeah, but he's the 3rd man who now has put himself in the position of having to save the day. 2 failed. Anushkevičius of Lithuania, and of course Hakan Yilmaz, former European champion. Neither of those 2 can go for a total, and are we about to see a 3rd man go the same way?
Well, and also the man from the B group, if my maths are right, is still actually in 3rd place, is he not?
Absolutely right. I mean, he's there, 93 kilos 88, and actually Coletskey of Belarus, also in the B group on 170, he's still in 4th place. And just to rub salt into the wound, Jose Navarro, Spain, who lifted 165 at the moment because of body weight, he's actually in 5th place. So
just a quick look at Coletskey. Still only on 160, so I'm not sure what he's coming in at. Well, that wasn't that convincing.
174.
172 now. 174. That seems like a heavy starter for him, and sort of unnecessary in this field as well.
Kolev, 172.
There's an amazing amount of failures in this lot.
Well, that's why we got a little bit concerned, David, about you know, Pilev's performance. Under normal circumstances, it shouldn't be up there, but maybe these aren't normal circumstances. A lot of people overestimating their ability, not making honest assessments. But Demanov, with some purpose, Andrei Demanov of Russia, just 22 years of age, and trained by a legendary figure, Nikolai Kolesnikov, Olympic champion in 1976. Remember him?
Mm. Well, and the failures go on.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said about Coletskey. Coletskey actually comes into this championship ranked 2nd in the world to Roman Konstantinov of Russia, who totaled up 397 in the World Championships in Chiang Mai. Coletskey 395 in Strasbourg last year at the Europeans in taking this very title.
I'm amazed he's coming in at 174. I mean, what's he got? A best of 177.
What, Coletskey? No, he's got a better. Well, if you go back, he's got a best of.
I'm looking at the ranking.
No, but if you go really way back to the World Championships in Athens, just before the Sydney Olympic Games, he's got a best of 180. And 182.5 in the Olympic Games in Sydney. But those are days gone by. I mean, he's only 26 now, but I don't think it's going to happen to that degree. 10 seconds.
What is going on?
Well, I tell you what, that lift was never in his mind.
The first one looked good, and he just dropped it behind. And that
yeah, but
one
now
just
the uncertainty's crept in. That, you know, the lack of belief. And we still have a situation where Gavorian, 2nd attempt, 170, leads by lighter body weight over Sazayev of Russia, who has 2 attempts left. And then Piliev and Demanov now coming in to try and take 172. 2nd attempt. And of course, it's worth remembering that Piliev had 2:12 and got very close to 2:16 in the clean and jerk.
No. So we've now got 3 athletes that have had 2 failures on 172. This is going to be, I mean, if they fail again, it's going to be an incredible amount of bombers.
And like you said, David, Coletskey, just having a look there to see whether he's still on 174. Yep, still there. Well, this is make or break. And we're going to have a succession of make or breaks here. So, Anushkevicius of Lithuania led the way in terms of failure. Hilkan Yamaz of Turkey followed in his footsteps. Now we've got Nikolai Kolev of Bulgaria with the real possibility that he's going to go the same way. The second attempt just was never in his mind.
No.
It's just
not there.
No, the belief has just gone out. He just hasn't believed that. 172, third man bites the dust. Well, and bring on the next contender. There's an awful lot of disbelief around this sports hall. This might well be approaching the longest, the record for the longest run of failures. Now Damanov, 172, bags of time, but he's got to lift this. He's got to stand still with his feet in line. Looks okay. Oh.
So he stays in the competition with that final lift of 172.
And that 172, David, pushes Piliev of the Ukraine off the snatch medal podium. It's Demanov of Russia ahead of Gavorian of Armenia, with Sazayev of Russia in the bronze medal position. But Piliev is still, he's within 2 kilos. Coletskey, who was posted at 174, but they brought it down to 173, so somebody was listening to you, David. So this is straight into the lead, and goodness gracious, let's hope it happens. Now that's interesting, he's rolling the bar forward.
That's good.
The champion of Europe in 1999, 2000, 2006 and 2007 makes a positive start. First of his 3 attempts, weighed in at 93.77, at the heavier end of the class, but nonetheless, no problem there. Now, Bratin. Yevgeny Bratin, back to the men who have to save the day. 171 twice. This is the man who ended up behind Coletskey in 3rd place in Strasbourg a year ago, when he snatched 173 kilos towards a total of 382.
Yes, they failed twice on 171. They're now going for broke.
20 seconds.
Oh, I'm very nearly doing it. But unfortunately, that's another bomber.
So when you look at the
4 bombers so far.
Yeah, when
half the field are out.
Yeah. So the people who are alive in this, David, from the medal A group are Sazayev of Russia, Gavorian of Armenia, Demonov of Russia, and Coletskey of Poland. Well, it'll make the clean and jerk interesting. I wonder if any of them will defect and call it a day. So, Sazayev, Muhammad Sazayev of Russia. Well, stays in 4th place at the moment. Moved up from 85 kilos to 94 kilos 3 years ago. And in fact, all his personal best marks date back to 2005. 177 on the snatch, 221, 398 total. So there it is. You can see, well, actually, the second page will show you an awful lot of red on that graphic. You can only see the top 8 pages, but Navarro, B group, Patotsky, B group, Piliev, B group in 5th, 6th, and 7th. And look at that. 9 attempts, 9, sorry, is that 12? 12 attempts, 12 failures. And every one of those athletes started the challenge as a member of the A medal final group. So Sazayev, 174 kilos for the outright lead. If he doesn't do this, he's going to be left on 170, along with Pileev and Patotsky. If Pileev had got that 216, David, that clean and jerk, that third one, that would have made life really interesting for a lot of these guys when we go to the second phase.
I think the 212 is. Oh, just a couple of steps forward. Just to hold.
Well, well done. 174 kilos. Just managed to contain himself on the 4-meter square platform and goes into the lead ahead of Coletskey, but he's finished, and we have just 3 lefts left. Just looking at Gavorian. Gavorian did 170. Just trying to... Gavorian of Armenia.
He missed 70, he got 70, so he's waiting now.
Yeah, he's waiting for 176, so he's playing with Coletskey to see where he can get a medal. But at the moment, he's in 4th place, so he's out of the medals. But the bar has gone to 176. And Coletskey on 177. So Gavorian with about 50 seconds. And here he comes. Coming out now. As we see Coletskey, but well, this is way ahead what he did in the World Championships. He did 167, so this is 9 kilos up on Thailand.
Edgar.
Good effort. And he's light, so that means he goes into the gold medal position, but of course he doesn't have any more attempts.
Yeah, but he's
down to Coletskey to take 177 and take the lead.
Yeah, but he knew, he was confident, and he's at least got the silver. And the other thing is he's given himself a cushion over Sazayev of a couple of kilos. So it's down to Coletskey. He's got 2 attempts now. So 177. Well, I was saying earlier, David, that I didn't think he'd go to 180, but if he gets this, then he's got a real good crack at doing it, and I would have thought that it was worth going for 180 to just, you know, put some distance between himself and the rest of them. It's going to be a very different competition in the second half with so many people only going for the clean and jerk.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit distracting for some of the people that are going for the total.
Yeah, the coaches are going to have to be very alert to what's going on. One more attempt, and he needs to take the 177 now again, I think.
Definitely.
There's no point in being more extravagant. Well, he's got a couple of minutes to follow himself. So an opportunity for me to address with you, David, a little question that we sort of begun to answer in the 85 kilo competition earlier in the day, which some of you unfortunately might not have seen, those of you with us on British Eurosport, from Emma. She was asking about you know, the fact that now, you know, there's on a more regular basis medals going to France and Italy and the Western European countries. Why not so for Great Britain? So I mean, I have to say that I still think
there's several answers.
Yeah, but first, before you say anything, I want to make the point that, you know, Michaela Breeze has done us proud, you know, on her own, effectively.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head. On her own, she doesn't have any real backup. You know, in the same way that myself and a few other lifters did it on their, you know, virtually on their own in the past. But I think what's happening with the other countries is two things. First of all, if you like, they're buying lifters from countries that had good lifters and making them their own. I mean, Dubaio's not French, he's Cameroon. So you know, they've made him their own. But then what they're doing is they're when they've got the talent, they're putting the money in to give them what they need to reach their potential. So in Cameroon, someone like Dubaio can only train 3 times a week and has to work, so he can't reach his potential. In France, he's a full-time weightlifter, and you know, and a lot of other countries like Italy, Spain are following suit.
Yeah, but it's not always a question of buying. It's the fact that they've got an organisation, they've got a system, they've got a really stable federation with good foundations. And, you know, sadly to say, and it's, you know, it's not good to say, but, you know, the British Federation, or, you know, Baller as it's known now.
Well, we've got 2 federations, Baller and World Class Weightlifting,
yeah.
and in my opinion, neither of them really know what they're doing.
Well, it is a bit shambolic.
And they're fighting each other.
Let's concentrate on Coletskey. This for the lead and the gold medal in the snatch phase.
Oh yes, well done.
Yeah. That's the experience coming out there as well from Coletskey. So he denies Edgar Gavorian of Armenia by just a kilo, but that's good enough. And Coletskey, the defending European champion, looking for his 5th title in the 94 kilo class in the European division, takes it by a kilo ahead of Gavorian, who ends on 176. And Muhammad Sozayev of Russia in 3rd place. A good explosive lifting here by Coletskey, who hasn't got a big lead, but he's back on track as he.
But remember, his strength is in the clean and jerk. So you know, if he could stay with him in the snatch, which he's done very well.
Well, here's the situation. Sozayev there, you can see 174, and he's 3 kilos back. He's in the bronze medal position. Damanov, 5 kilos off the pace. In 4th place, his Russian teammate Piliev of the Ukraine, 170. Well, it looks a lot, but it just depends what happens in the clean and jerk, because all those reds there tell you that all of those people, Anushkevicius, Kolev, Bratton, Yilmaz, they're all out of the overall game. We'll take a break and back for highlights after this.
Intercode, electrical spatial cables. We have turned a cable into a work of art.
best mobile games with Eurosport. Text Euro and the chart position to the number next to your flag.
Heb je een Nederlands nummer? SMS dan Euro en de bijbehorende code naar 4636.
Se estás em Portugal, envia Euro e o código correspondente para o 4004.
Jesteś w Polsce? Wyślij kod zamówienia na 79997.
Om du är i Sverige, skicka euro plus koden till 72525.
En España, manda euro y el número del top al 7997.
Welcome back to Lignano. Well, it's not only the men's European weightlifting championships, the women have been in action all through the week in their weight categories, and here's highlights of those who succeeded. Well, straight on now to the highlights a little earlier this afternoon of the men's 85 kilo class. And the opening phase is İnce of Turkey, former European champion. And İnce opening up on 163, then went 166, which he didn't get, pushed the bar up to 167, and this was his third attempt. Needed this to get ahead of Georgi Markov of Bulgaria, former two-time European champion and world champion, and Hakan Yilmaz, a rare Turkish celebration, up against this man, Vasily Polovnikov, national championship. Recently saw him finish in third place, and Polovnikov 168, first attempt, a kilo more than İnce, and that ultimately was good enough to secure the silver medal position. But Tigran V. Martirosyan, the older brother of Tigran Martirosyan, who just a couple of days ago took the men's 69 kilo championship in spectacular style, trying to do what his brother did, which was to lead and build an advantage at the halfway stage, and then say to the rest of the field in the clean and jerk, catch me if you can. It didn't start well, 168, he didn't get the first time, but he did the second time, and as a result of his lighter body weight was already in the lead when he took this third attempt for 172 kilos to give himself a 4 kilo and body weight advantage at the halfway stage. The best of the three attempts, and the advantage won for himself and Armenia. So Polovnikov 4 kilos down and body weight, İnce securing the bronze medal. Well, on to the clean and jerk phase, and Benjamin Hennequin, the man who finished fourth for France a year ago on his own French stage in Strasbourg, very conscious of the fact that he needed to put in a good performance to claim a place in the French team to go to Beijing. Hennequin down at the halfway stage at 6th place, but much more comfortable in this second phase in the clean and jerk. 193, 197, and this third attempt at 200, not only securing 4th place overall, but a bronze medal in the clean and jerk. It then came down to two men, head-to-head battle between Vasily Polovnikov of Russia and Tigran Martirosyan. It started well with 200. This was 205 kilos. And that was made. So Polovnikov pushing Martirosyan to maintain his advantage by taking the same weight. Martirosyan not overawed, and knowing that if he lifted this, then Polovnikov would have to go to 210 for his third and final attempt, given the margin he built up over the Russian in the first half of the competition. So this second attempt absolutely crucial for the Armenian. Down to under 10 seconds, but when he moved this bar, The clean was really good. The chuck overhead, just as strong, managed to hold it together. 205 apiece. Polovnikov, he couldn't make 210, as you can see there. Martirosyan didn't need to come out again, and Armenia had even more gold medals. The work of Martirosyan taking Armenia to a gold medal haul of 13, with still the 94 kilo and the 105 and super heavyweights to go.
A look at what's on next week on Eurosport. And cue the snooker, because it's week 1 of the World Championships. European football from the Champions League and the UEFA Cup, and the first leg of the semi-finals. And the semi-finals in the futsal UEFA Cup as Murcia and Dynamo Moscow go 5-a-side. World Championship snooker, the Champions League and UEFA Cup, plus futsal, all to come next week on Eurosport.
Starten Sie durch bei der Poker Race Trophy. Qualifizieren Sie sich jetzt gratis online für einen Startplatz beim Semifinale und pokern Sie live an 6 der coolsten Rennstrecken der Welt. Spielen Sie sich ins große Race Trophy Finale nach Österreich. Kämpfen Sie auf Pole Position um $500.000 Preisgeld live im TV. Die Poker Race Trophy wird Ihnen präsentiert von fun.pokerroom.com in Kooperation mit der FIA WTCC. Qualifizieren Sie sich jetzt.
Welcome back to Lignano. Second part about to get underway. And just a reminder, Konstantin Piliev of the Ukraine, 212 kilos. The clean and jerk gives him a total of 382. He, at this moment, is the leader in the clubhouse. So we just need to bear that in mind as we go into the second half of this competition. Very interesting to see the man who grabbed the silver medal in the opening phase coming out at 195 here, David. Gavorian.
Well, I did say that Coletskey just had to really stay in there with the snatch, and he actually did more than that. He snatched 177 to beat this man, but he's posted to start on 20 kilos more than this, 215.
Yeah, but what's interesting for me is that Gavorian 9 kilos up on his snatch attempt in the World Championships. This is 195 where he finished timed out. Now, that immediately tells you, David, that his mind's not on the job.
Well, it had to come, didn't it? We've been getting sort of 2 seconds, 1 second. So that's a bit of a waste, wasn't it? Completely unnecessary, that. Well, he's now got 2 minutes to follow himself. You'd have thought he'd have been straight up there, wouldn't you? And there, just to show you, Coletskey on 70 kilos, just warming up.
Well, let's just, just put this into perspective. Gavorian 195. Okay, so where is he? Let's have a look at him. He's got 176 kilos, and he's going for 195. Now that is 17 down on Piliev. And, as you said, there's a lot of people who failed, aren't going to get a total. I mean, we've only basically got, 4 people alive in the competition for the total.
Yes, exactly. 4 or 5?
Is it 5?
It's 5, isn't it?
Coletskey, Gavorian, Sazayev, Damanov.
Well, 4 bombers, 9 lifters. Got to be 5, isn't it? Well, that's a total anyway.
Yeah, the other man I'm missing is Alibey Samadov, who's got 160, which is, that's 10 kilos down on Piliev as well.
Definitely in with a chance of a medal on the jerk, and maybe even on the total.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. You know, he could be looking, you know, because of what's happened, David. Now, just confirmation, Donatas Anushkevicius of Lithuania. News from the warm-up room, he has retired. And likewise, the Bulgarian Nikolai Kolev. That sort of, David, makes life slightly easier, slightly more manageable. But two of the guys that were perhaps going to go for clean and jerk honours have decided not to get involved, but it does leave that it does mean that Hakan Yilmaz of Turkey, Andre Damanov, no, not Andre Damanov, Hakan Yilmaz and Yevgeny Bratan are still contenders for clean and jerk honours. So Samadov coming out on 200. So this is for a 360 total. Well, on the evidence of that and the fact that he's 22 kilos behind Piliev, I'm prepared to wager with immense confidence that he will not overtake Piliev. So we're really looking at 4, David. We're really looking at 4 men.
Yes, that would be really great to get a look at the 212 clean and jerk.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can bring you that shot at some point. Well, this competition is going to be finishing much earlier, isn't it?
Any chance to show the 212 again? The 212 of Piliev, which Eurosport didn't see. If you've got a chance to re-show it at some point, that would be great. So we put the request in. Hopefully we'll get a chance to have a look at it.
Well, we're going to finish early, aren't we?
Here it is.
Here we go.
There you go. Konstantin Piliev. It was his second attempt. And
so that's the man they're following.
As I said, David, I watched it and he was so close to getting 216. So thanks for that, and now we're going to see where we go from here. But I'm afraid for Samadov, well, Piliev's already got his scalp, although he's got this and yet another attempt. There's no way he's going to close the deficit from the first half.
I mean, there's another bomb in prospect there.
Yeah, because although he got just one good attempt, which was the 160 on his first attempt in the snatch phase, we're now in a situation now where he's got 1 out of 5. But actually, this reminds me, David, of the Olympics. You know, it's worth emphasizing there how the tactic is different and how, you know, getting your lifts in is absolutely vital. You're not, you know, very few people will win the Olympics on sort of 2 out of 6 and 3 out of 6. You just don't win the big medals with that sort of percentage. Well, there's no doubt this is the competition which has seen more red than white, more failure than success.
And Coletskey just warming up with 170.
Yeah, with his forte being the clean and jerk, a 5th championship really does look on the cards, doesn't it? Yeah, particularly when you say that the man who took the silver medal, Gavorian, already has had 2 attempts at 195, so clearly not the force in this discipline that he was in the first one. So Sazayev, but Sazayev and Coletskey separated by 3 kilos. Sazayev, though, the lighter of the two, so that's maybe a little help. And you can see there, Poland on the left there, that's Coletskey, 215, Sazayev, 210. Right at the bottom, the Russian Andrei Dermanov at 210. And Hakan Yilmaz, 2 from the bottom there, the Turkish guy going for clean and jerk on us, 206 kilos. But Samadov, well, he gets this, and he gets a total of 360. He fails, and he becomes the 5th man not to get a total in the championship, in the A group as it's known. Deep split, but he's done well to... I think the feet were just about in line there, David. If we see the overhead, we'll get an idea whether they were or whether they weren't. It was pretty marginal, but fair play. Let's have a look at this. Well, strictly, no. Strictly, they were not in line. What do you think? Do you agree?
Well, I think his body was slightly twisted, so...
I'm absolutely convinced they weren't in line. To be fair to the referees, and we criticise them a lot, David, I think it's when you sit down in one of those referees' chairs there and your eye line is very flat across the platform, it's quite that perspective of seeing whether feet are actually in line is actually quite difficult. You need to sort of be...
Sit them in a better place, or give them a monitor like the...
well, either that or you need to raise them up a little bit so they've got a little bit more height to look down on the platform. Anyway, Sazayev. Now, this is pretty crucial.
Well, he was down to start at 210, wasn't he?
Yeah,
So
he
he's come down, realising that actually a total will be quite good here.
So, Muhammad Sazayev.
And he puts him on 379, though. Doesn't put him ahead of the man in the B group still leading.
Yeah, Konstantin Piliev, a complete and utter spectator. But if you say the 379, now you can see why the extra 4 kilos. I mean, if he got that 216, David, I'm pretty sure he would have got that overall bronze. He still might do it, but you never know. So Yilmaz on the stage now, and he's looking for a clean and jerk medal. 205 to open up with.
I think it's a big ask. Struggling. Well, he's finally got a lift in.
He's thinking go to 212. He weighed in at 93.75. He's lighter than Piliev.
Well, Gregorian's going at 206. This would give him 382, and he would go into the overall lead by virtue of lighter body weight. And he weighed in at around, what, 90.84, so very, very light, giving away a lot of kilos in this class.
Dermanov and Coletskey, of course, waiting in the wings to start. This is a bit.
Watch he doesn't time himself out. It takes a long time.
But this is, you know, I mean, 195, David. Second.
No, but he's doing it. He's going for the lead.
Yeah, I know. But it's a huge lead.
It's a big lead. Cleaned well though.
It's 11 kilos up on his second attempt. No.
So the man in the V section still holding on to the
Yeah, 212
to the gold.
So we've got Demanov and Coletskey in the wings, who've yet to start. Yilmaz has got 2 more attempts in the clean and jerk division. Mohammad Sazayev has also got 2. Now he and Yilmaz, they're both on 205. So they got to go some to get to the 212, and if they don't get to the 212, then Pilaev has definitely got a medal.
Well, what's also interesting is Demanov's taken 208. He's gone down from 210. That's only going to give him 380. It's not going to put him into the lead.
No.
I wonder if they've got their mind on the man from the B session, or if they've completely forgotten about it.
.217 was his clean and jerk effort in the Europeans last year, where he ended up in 4th place. But again, he was a man who only made 3 out of 6 a year ago. Yeah, I've got a feeling this is okay. Yeah. So 208. Puts him up into 2nd place in the clean and jerk rankings. Overall, 380, 2nd overall. But Konstantin Pilaev of the Ukraine, still with a 2-kilo lead over Demanov. Now, Sazayev, David, is going to 210 now, so that's a 5-kilo increase. That would give him 383,
so
384, wouldn't it? Yeah. And it would probably mean that Pilaev just misses out on the overall bronze medal. If he fails, though, he's got 1 more attempt at it. He nearly got back there.
Work for that.
210. So Sazayev still not in the lead in the clean and jerk, but in the lead overall. Pilaev on 382 drops down to silver medal. Demanov's in bronze, but remember, Coletskey yet to start. Now, Demanov's on 208 and he's got 2 more attempts. You just sense, David, that 3rd attempt missed by Pilaev, 4 more kilos, which would have put him on, what, 386, would have probably just about secured the medal. But that's
needed to be in this class, really.
Yeah,
fighting it out.
So Sazayev has put the bar up to 211. I wonder what. Hang on a second. What's Demanov thinking of now? Demanov has gone to 213 for his 2nd attempt. Meanwhile, this is Yilmaz. The bar going to 212 for Yilmaz's 2nd attempt. Now, he is actually lighter than Pilaev and weighed in at 93 kilo 75, and he's lighter. Yeah, so this would put him into the lead in the clean and jerk. I'm not 100% certain, though, David. Just on the evidence of the 1st attempt, I'm not sure.
I think it's a big, big ask.
Well, he's done really well to clean that, but how much has he taken out of himself? Too much is the answer. Well, that's a failure by Yilmaz. It's come on our computer as a success, but it isn't a success. And Konstantin Piliev is still in the lead. So Konstantin Piliev still in the lead in the clean and jerk, and Sazayev's got one attempt. Yilmaz has got one attempt, I think, left. He has indeed. Damanov's got two. Odds against Piliev hanging on to this, but you sort of sense, David, that he'd be hard done by, wouldn't he? I mean, there've been so many failures that... So, Yilmaz coming out. What if he's going to do this, David? He's got to get the clean.
But he's still number one on the clean and jerk, the man from the B group.
Yeah, I know. But if Yilmaz has got any chance of doing this, he's got to do this with immense economy, this first element. Twenty seconds. No. It's like the strength, everything just drained out of him. So, Piliev stays in command. The threat of Yilmaz in terms of clearing and jerk has disappeared. We have 6 lifts remaining. 1 for Sazayev, 2 for Damanov, 3 for Coletskey.
So this is the lead on the clean and jerk and the total. This will put him on 385.
Yeah, it'll be a kilo ahead of Sazayev. The 2 Russians engaged in their own particular fight. Sazayev, 26 years of age. Damanov, 22. Sazayev, 4th in the world a couple of years ago, 2nd in the world in 2005. Damanov, 2nd in Europe 2 years ago. Yeah, good.
Very good.
So Damanov, and that 2:13 puts Piliev in the clean and jerk rankings down into the silver medal position. Sazayev is in 3rd place. 385 the total for Damanov, 382 the total for Piliev. Sazayev on 384. Sorry, Piliev has dropped down to bronze overall, I should say. Now, Sazayev coming out for 2:14. Now, let me just work this out, David. Now, Sazayev, if he was to fail this, David, if he was to fail this...
It'll be a medal on the clean and jerk for the man from the B group.
Yeah, exactly. Coletskey still backroom waiting.
If he succeeds with this, it'll put him into the lead with 388.
Yeah. Sazayev, whose best total is 398. His teammate also 398. That's his personal best. No, and Piliev has got the medal. He didn't get the total medal, but he's got the clean and jerk bronze medal as a result of the 212 kilos that he lifted in the B group earlier today. And Sazayev stays in second place. Konstantin Pilyov is third overall. The leader at this moment is Andrei Demanov of Russia, who has one attempt left. Coletskey, though, about to start, and he has 3 at his disposal. And the bar going to 220. Demanov has also posted 220 for his final attempt. I mean, Demanov, really, David, I mean, he's got to lift for nothing, hasn't he? Because he's got the silver medal.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to take, I mean, it's entirely what he just has to see what happens to Coletskey. So Simon Coletskey, twice second in the world, second in the Olympic Games, third last season in the World Championships when he clean and jerked 219 with a 173 snatch to give himself a total of 392. And he carries forward 177 from the first half.
Oh, needs to hold.
Oh, he's off. He's off. Puts off. So one of his 3 lives has gone, and Demanov stays in front.
Put himself under a little bit of unnecessary pressure, though. The 215 would have been enough, wouldn't it? I mean, yeah, didn't need to go here yet, did he?
What do you say? Secure the championship.
Then go for more.
Yeah. So he might want to move the bar back a little bit on the platform.
Yeah.
Well, you got 4 meters. Use it.
Yeah. Just him and Demanov then left in.
Question at weightlifting.de. We'd love to hear from you. Tomorrow we have the 105 kilo championship that you'll be able to see with us at 12:30 Central European time. And later in the day, it's the super heavyweights. And what a lineup there. Victor Skarbatis, not only the multi-European champion, but the world champion now, having won the title in Thailand when Hossein Rezazadeh was a spectator, the giant Iranian. And that's the state of play we have right here in Italy, this moment, right now. So, Coletskey for the second time of asking.
Pretty certain if he does this, it's going to secure the overall. But Demanov still waiting in the wings.
Well, this will be
left.
Be 397, and to be honest, I think if he lifts this, he's won the championship. He may not lift again. He may not need to lift again, unless he wants to. Unless it's all about the clean and jerk gold medal. Clean is harder than it should be, and again he's very close, but needs to put it on the platform.
What was the buzzer? What was the buzzer all about? The buzzer was going off.
Yeah.
In the middle of that. Yeah. So, good lift.
It's interesting, though, David, that bar, when he puts it down, has to land on the platform. Even if the buzzer goes and he puts it down, it did land on the platform, but it's mighty close to the front edge. Look how close that is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'd have been inclined to take a couple of steps back there.
Yeah. So 397, 220. And now the situation is that Coletskey leads by
Coletskey's won the overall, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got the gold He's in the gold medal position in the clean and jerk. Now, Damanov, who weighed in at 93.67, lighter than Coletskey. If he does this, he goes into the lead in the clean and jerk, into the gold medal position. He's secured second overall.
But Coletskey would just have to go 221, won't he?
He would.
Yeah, which I'm sure has been posted already. This man's good.
So
good effort.
It is a good effort. Damanov finishes on 385, secures the European silver medal. In fact, another European silver, because he actually got the European silver in Władysławowo in Poland a couple of years ago with 393. Today, only 385 required. Coletskey, well, it's up to him whether he wants to take it. He doesn't need to, David. Why would he take this?
I don't know, maybe he wants to... well, he's going to go 223, 400 total. That's why he's going to take it.
What, a sort of...
Well, a mental sort of thing, just send a message out there.
We're just having a look at the 400. I mean, Coletskey, 400.
I think he's done 412, hasn't he?
Just having a look here. He's done 412 and a half. And he did that, when did he do that? He did that in 2000 in the European Championship just before. That was Sofia.
No, he's going more. 225 at least.
Well, he is the clean and jerk world record holder on 232. Well, I couldn't imagine that he's going to go anywhere near that.
226.
Well, what's the significance?
I don't know, just pushing himself before the Olympics, I guess.
So I hope they've found Mr. Piliev.
Yeah, they need him for the rostrum.
So, final lift of the day. 5 seconds. He's going to have to be quick. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. No, it was never going to happen. And that's it. And so he takes the championship with 397, which is 2 kilos up on last year when he won it with 395, 3 kilos up on 2006 when he won it on his own Polish platform, 394 on that occasion, but doesn't compare, David, with his victory in 99 on 405, or indeed 2000, 412 and a half. Well, Coletskey, clean and jerk gold. Damanov, there you can see, 213. Piliev from the B group, 212 kilos. And Sazayev of Russia, 210 in 4th place, ahead of Navarro. Josefar Navarro from the B group, also way up in the rankings as a result of all the disappointments. So Coletskey just getting ready for the medal ceremony. Here's the final table. Coletskey, Damanov, Sazayev, the gold, silver and bronze medals, and Piliev a worthy 4th place, 382. And I think next time around,
but he took 216, didn't he? You know, he could have taken 214 and maybe he'd have done it if he'd have been actually in with the A group.
So it'll be interesting just to see the medal table with 1 day to go, the super heavyweights and the 105 kilo champions. Poland and Russia, the dominant F nations in this particular competition. Armenia still out front of the medal table with 13 golds, 3 silvers and a bronze. But Poland, 4th in the medal table with 5 golds. Well, Coletskey's certainly improved that. 3 gold medals takes them up to 8 gold medals. That'll put them, in terms of gold medals, into 2nd place in the overall medal table. If my maths is right. But there's a man downstairs not too far away who's rather better at adding these things up than I am. Well, David, just while we've got a few moments, just thinking about, you know, tomorrow, Matthias Steiner, born in Vienna, lives now in Leimen in Germany. Rising star in the heavyweight division against the established Skebartis, Yevgeny Sigishev of Russia, and Sokolov of Bulgaria, former super heavyweight men's champion. That really is potentially a great finale.
Yes, wouldn't really want to call that one.
No. And they're all sort of around the sort of 440 to 450. When big guys like that, 10 kilos is nothing at all. It's what happens on the day and who does it. So, and Skebartis, of course, has won more European championships in the last 10 years than anybody else. But of course, he's at the older end of the scale. You've got Matthias Steiner, 25, maturing, and trying to follow in the great footsteps of the great Ronnie Vella for Germany, who won the super heavyweight title in Riesa 10 years ago. Well, taking a bit of time to get these guys together. What have we got the medal table for to have a look at? Right on cue. Here it is. Armenia, 13 gold medals. Russia, 6. Poland, well, surely they got more than that. Must have more than that, surely. They had 5, or did they have? Don't know, perhaps they didn't add, perhaps I added them in again. Just about time for us to take our leave. As you can see, 16 countries with medals. Yeah, I think they'd already added them in. Kleinovska's success was the big success for them in the women's division in the 58 kilo.
Yes, that was gold on the clean and jerk and the total, and then Coletskey 3 golds.
That was her 3rd European title, so that was really good. And Coletskey, of course, this is his 5th European title as he leads out the champions. Antonio Orso just going through, accompanied by a gentleman called Aldo, whose name I sadly can't remember. He's been the competition manager in the hall here, and he has the honour of being involved in the presentation party. Janusz Sapelski, former president of the Polish Weightlifting Federation. The man on the right. Also, Antonio Urso, the president of the Italian Federation, soon to take over the responsibility for the European Federation as the new president from Waldemar Bazanowski. And so the medal ceremony for the overall championship at 94 kilos. Mohammad Sosayev, 174 in the snatch, 210 for 384 to take the overall bronze medal. Second, his teammate, Andrei Damanov. 2 kilos less in the snatch at 172, but 3 more in the clean and jerk, giving him a 1 kilo advantage over his teammate. And so the European champion for 94 kilos in 2008 here in Lignano Sabbiadoro, Simon Coletskey. A total of 397 kilos. And so to the national anthem of Poland.